The Ministry of Finance (MOF) announced on Thursday, July 4, that approximately 1.5 million eligible adult Singaporeans will receive cash payouts in August to assist with their daily expenses. This measure is intended to provide relief amid the rising cost of living and economic challenges faced by many in the country. However, skepticism has surfaced in the online comments on Singapore's mainstream social media pages, where there is a notable expression of anxiety over economic pressures within the Singaporean community. Many netizens have highlighted the overall economic situation, pointing out that numerous businesses are struggling due to high operational costs. This casts doubts on the effectiveness of these handouts in stimulating economic recovery. Some online comments have drawn comparisons between the ruling party's handouts and welfare programs like food stamps in other countries, suggesting that these handouts may foster dependency without addressing long-term economic sustainability. The MOF statement noted that eligible recipients living in homes with annual values up to 21,000 Singapore dollar will receive 850 Singapore dollars, while those in homes valued between 21,000 Singapore dollars and 25,000 Singapore dollar will get 450 Singapore dollars. This reflects an increase of 150 Singapore dollars or 100 Singapore dollars from last year. The payouts are designated for Singaporeans aged 21 and above with an assessable income of up to 34,000 Singapore dollars for the year of assessment 2023, excluding those owning multiple properties. Additionally, about 650,000 citizens aged 65 and above will receive up to 450 Singapore dollars in their MediSave accounts as part of the GST voucher scheme. This scheme aims to alleviate GST expenses for lower to middle-income Singaporeans amidst the recent increases in goods and services tax. The GST rate rose from 7% to 8% in January 2023 and further to 9% at the start of 2024. According to the MOF, the 2024 GSTV disbursements, initially announced by Prime Minister Lawrence Wong in February 2023, will total $1.4 billion, an increase of about $200 million from 2023. Observing comments on Singapore state media such as the Straits Times and CNA's Facebook posts, it is evident that there is a sentiment urging the government to prioritize core issues that could alleviate the rising cost of living, rather than focusing solely on payouts, especially amidst anticipated early election speculation. Some express pessimism, noting uncertainty about whether the payout will effectively mitigate the challenges faced by Singaporeans amidst increases in GST, property taxes, and water tariffs. While the MOF noted that eligible recipients will receive 850 Singapore dollars for homes up to 21,000 Singapore dollar annual values, 450 Singapore dollars for 21,000 Singapore dollars to 25,000 Singapore dollar annual values, a netizen argued that the escalating property market has disproportionately inflated property taxes without clear justification. The netizen further criticized that the rising cost of living has left many dependent on handouts, questioning whether this effectively addresses underlying economic challenges. Moreover, he expressed concerns that these costs could lead to broader economic issues as businesses struggle. There are concerns about the eligibility criteria for the payout. For instance, one comment pointed out that the low annual income bar excludes many middle-class Singaporeans who are struggling with expenses, commitments, and debts. This results in a significant number of Singaporeans being ineligible for the GST payout. Some lamented that the middle class suffers from the impact of GST increases without adequate solutions to ease their burden. Some expressed skepticism towards vouchers, implying that they are not effective in addressing the broader economic issues being faced. A netizen expressed their frustration, pointing out that it only provides cash payouts for two categories of the annual value of home, up to 25,000 Singapore dollars. He expressed disbelief that those earning above this threshold are not considered for assistance, despite facing increased living expenses. Another netizen suggests that an annual income of 34,000 Singapore dollars is insufficient, especially for larger families with 4 or more members. The comment argues for an increase in the income ceiling for eligibility, indicating that current thresholds do not adequately support households facing higher expenses. Meanwhile, a sarcastic comment suggests that when the ruling party provides handouts, it's acceptable, but if opposition parties propose similar measures, it's criticized as depleting national reserves. During an interview in February, Hazel POA, non-constituency member of parliament, NCMP, from the Progress Singapore Party, PSP, remarked on the Singapore Budget 2024, suggesting that it appears to be tailored as an election budget with no additional taxes. She expressed appreciation for the 1.9 billion Singapore dollar assurance package announced by then-Deputy Prime Minister Lawrence Wong, which aimed at assisting Singaporeans in managing the cost of living. However, she cautioned that these measures are short-term and expressed hope that the government's focus would shift towards implementing fundamental changes to enable Singaporeans to increase their real wages, reducing the dependence on handouts for a significant portion of the population. When prompted to elaborate on the fundamental changes she proposed, Ms. POA reiterated the essential need to raise Singaporeans' wages to cope with the cost of living. She outlined various approaches to achieve this, one of which aligns with the PSP's previous proposal, the implementation of a living wage, which establishes a minimum wage for all individuals. In addition, she stressed the importance of empowering employees to negotiate better wages, citing the comparatively lower percentage of Singaporeans' wage component in GDP compared to other OECD countries. This is something that we can work on to improve the percentage of wages and therefore improve the lives of Singaporeans. What do you think about the cash payouts? Do you think they are a short-term solution or a necessary measure during these challenging times? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to 2230 for more in-depth coverage on important issues.